So before I start, I would like to acknowledge that this coat is big and obnoxious, but I like it, and it finally snowed in Michigan, so just hang with me. We're gonna do today a review of the first sentence of your appeals, whether that is direct mail or email. There are a couple ways you can start. So you can start with urgency, saying, I'm writing you today because I need a gift before December 31st, midnight. You could start with something that's dramatic and pulls them in, but it would be something that's of interest to them, not you. So make sure if you're doing something that's creative and dramatic, make sure that it's going to draw them in based on their interest. You can also start the first sentence by talking about them, saying something like, Danielle, I know it breaks your heart when you see homeless people on the side of the road. That would be the first sentence. Then you get into the ask in the second. So we have clarity, don't be cute, be clear, be short, you want to be concise, you can use urgency, you can summarize, Stephen's Green says summarize the entire letter in your first sentence, or you could simply get to the point by saying, hi donor, I'm writing you today to ask for a gift to do blank, which is whatever your organization is known for doing. It needs to be clear, not conceptual. So, hi Danielle, I'm writing you today to ask for a gift to give a meal to a hungry family. That is clear. You wouldn't say to give hope to a sad family, or you wouldn't say to give hope to a family in need. You want to be as detailed as possible. NextAfter's talked a lot about your value proposition, what makes you different than any other organization. Why give to you nonprofit over any other? That's something really important to keep in mind. But one more thing before we jump into the reviews itself, a couple do's and don'ts. Julie Cooper does these 1-minute interviews. I'll link it in the caption. They're very helpful. So she had one with Tom Ahern. They were talking about the structure of a direct mail appeal. And Tom was saying that he's done successfully as the first sentence should be short, very, very, very easy on ramp. You want it to be as easy to read as possible. And the question is, what's the point of the first sentence? And in that video, they were saying the point of the first sentence is to get them to read the second. And then you need to have your offer smack dab in the next sentence. So the goal of the first is to get them to read the next. Don't make them read. You want them to read those first 3 sentences and then skip to the reply device. Okay, so I have my laptop here, but when I make this video, I'm gonna split the cameras. This is from International Justice Mission. What's really cool is they put a message from the regional president at the top of the email. That makes it feel very human. So let's talk about the first sentence of what she wrote. It says, Danielle, helping bring twice the hope and restoration to survivors like Ruby is truly the greatest gift you can give this holiday season. That's why I'm resharing the launch of our limited time holiday match. Give now to double your impact. Okay, so my name was, I was addressed by name. That's a win. I will say the verb tense of the first sentence is really confusing. It's also a very long sentence, and I don't know who Ruby is. So while I love the fact they've included a message at the top of this email to make it more personal, the first sentence could use some help because it's too long. I don't know who Ruby is, and it's a little too conceptual. What I do like is they say, give now to double your impact today, and they do it in the third sentence. I got too hot, I had to change. New jacket, same video. So if I could, I would ask Sharon to restructure her first sentence. It would say, Danielle, I'm writing you today to ask for your help, period. Your gift will be doubled, period. A little girl like Ruby right now is being trafficked and exploited. She needs your help, period. Scroll down to help Ruby, or a girl like Ruby. There's just, the first sentence is too long. It's not bad, it's just too long. The email itself, I'm sorry, I know I'm not supposed to go into this, but it says, Danielle, I'm excited to share, by the way, this little girl looks sad, well done, because that's who I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to help a happy person. I'm excited to share that our limited time holiday match starts today. There's not a better time to bring hope and restoration to victims. Okay, she's talking at me. She should, again, start with the need, start with something that the donor cares about. I don't really care that it's limited time, and I don't care that now's the best time. Just tell me that my gift is gonna double the good. So she could start with the story of Ruby, but one short line, Ruby's sitting alone in a dark room with no one to help, period. Next sentence, you can help Ruby when you give a gift today by giving X amount of dollars. Very simple. And something else Tom said that I just remembered is a lot of white space. I know that in emails, technically you're not supposed to indent every paragraph, but when your email is like theirs, and it does feel like the paragraphs are quite similar in length and it feels more like a wall of text, I would indent, or I would vary the paragraph lengths. You'll see multiple ways to give. She also, I'm glad she doesn't sign off by saying thank you, because like I haven't done anything yet. She says until we are all free. So yeah, so we'll go on to the next one now. Now we've got Red Cross coming in clutch with an email that I would like to redo almost entirely. Again, we have a picture at the top showing what's happened, but they're happy. So there, she's already getting help, y'all. She doesn't need me. And then it's a big old headline, support communities impacted by disasters. Yes, it is a 5-letter sentence. Yay, but it is a headline screaming at me, and it's not about me. And I don't want to support all the communities. My $100 gift can't do that. So, not a great headline, be good for a newsletter. First sentence, friend, this summer saw the hottest days on record. This fall, the frequency of disasters across the country continues to increase. I'm getting an education session. I'm deleting this. What does this have to do with me? So they need to talk to me about what I care about, or reflect back on me, the type of person I want to be, with a big heart like me, someone who cares about others, someone like me who doesn't want to see others without a home and without food to eat. Why would someone like me want to give to you? Like, tap into that and make me feel good that I'm a good person, and a good person would do something like this. Let's scroll down though. We'll see our continued emergency response depends on your invaluable support. This is something the Better Fundraising Co. brought up, changed my approach entirely. I've used the word continued quite a bit in my dirty fundraising past. When you say are continued, you are literally implying you will continue doing what you're doing no matter what. Whether you get a gift or not, you're going to continue giving emergency responses. So why does the donor need to give? You're basically shooting yourself in the foot. It's just it's minimal, but because of the testing they've done, it's significant. So don't say our continued emergency response. Say people will not get help, donor, if you don't give today. It's accurate. Some people won't be helped. Real quick, this red sentence, this red paragraph, all they would need to do, instead of saying, please, can you give now to ensure Red Cross teams can help communities prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters big and small. It's a very long sentence. I can't even comprehend what that would look like. Just take the need, make it the first sentence. Hey Danielle, right now there's a community that doesn't have electricity and they don't have food. When you give a gift of X amount today, this group of people or a family will be able to turn on their water again. Just be specific. So let's move on to something else. We're gonna do 2 more. These ones are gonna be print appeals. So this one is from the Salvation Army. Top right-hand corner says, thank God for you and all you do for the suffering in our community. That's very donor-centric. I would assume this would be a newsletter telling me what my gift did, but it's not. It's an appeal. So the first sentence says, so first off, whatever you want the donor to do, put it in that top right-hand corner. It's like the most valuable real estate. You know that if you watch my videos and if you've learned from all these other brilliant people I've learned from. So dear Danielle, whenever a child prays over a Thanksgiving meal, ... or a father is thankful for a bag of groceries, blah, 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 or a mother cries, blah, 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 then we thank God for you. I think this would be perfect in a newsletter. It's a very long on-ramp. No one is going to complete the paragraph. They did use drama. The drama just took too long. So the drama was 5 sentences long. The last one. This one is from the American Family Association. I've been collecting these from my neighbors and friends. Dear blank, it's been a hot summer and I'm not talking about weather. 1 sentence. I like that. It's also kind of like, well, what's he talking about? I'm talking about the culture war that's boiling up in large and small towns across the nation. Okay, that sentence is easy to read. Tell me he's going to get to an ask now. He says, some of us see the combatants as liberals versus conservatives, other think division as Democrats, Republicans, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not getting to an ask. He's telling me about what's happening in the world. So, let's first sentence, easy to read, very short. I want to know what's hot and what's boiling. So that's great. The next sentence is very easy to read as well, but it doesn't get to the offer. So basically, as I read down, unless I'm ultra passionate about this particular organization and this particular cause, it's unlikely I'm going to make it to the reply device and give. So let me tell you how I start every single appeal, no matter what. This is from Thank You to the Better Fundraising Company. This is where I got it. They recommend starting every single appeal with, Dear donor, I'm writing you today to ask for blank, and then the offer. I start with that every single time. And I build my letter down from there. I tell a story of unmet need. I repeat the offer. You repeat the offer about 3 or 4 times. You can't really go overboard because honestly, people aren't really going to read much of it. And then what I do is when I have my letter written, I'll go back and I'll say, can I come up with anything more compelling than this first sentence that's to the point? Can I make it simpler? Can I make it shorter? So yes, I almost always shorten that first sentence. But a lot of times I do end up just defaulting to, donor, I'm writing you today to ask before, and then this year it'll be a special year-end gift before midnight on December 31st. That's how I start. It's to the point. I'm doing the donor a favor. And then I run my first sentence, my letter, I run it through the Hemingway app. It grades it for me. Copy Optimizer is something Donor Voices come out with. I've been using that and I like that. There's another tool. It's the Flesh Kincaid, and it grades your writing. You want to write at like a 5th, 6th grade level. So I run it through that. And then last thing is, also when I'm filling in the space of a letter, I typically want to make it, typically do front, back, and a third page. I like to have it longer just because it's in the donor's hands longer. When I'm filling in the space, I like to reflect back on who I know the donor is. I really want to be a mirror that tells them I know how amazing they are. I want them to feel seen. So when I actually do donor surveys with my donors, I'll send an email and I'll say, which of these attributes and character traits resonate most with you? And I'll ask them, you know, like, is it honesty, integrity, caring for others? I try to dial that in. And then for my major donors, because I don't have the capacity with AI or tools yet I have to manually put that in everyone's file, but I do it for my major donors. So I know when I write them thank you letters, when I customize their appeals, I can use words that resonate with them. So again, like, you'll start with a short sentence, unmet need. I'm getting hot. Whew. I get nervous, I guess, when I talk about my major donors because there's a lot at stake. Short sentence, unmet need, reflect back to the donor who they are, they're amazing. Repeat my offer, and that's kind of how I build it out. But the first sentence, you got to have it on point or they're not going to read to the second. Goal of the first sentence is to get them to keep reading. And I know this is totally backwards because I should introduce myself at the beginning of the video, but my name's Danielle Wallace. I help small to mid-sized nonprofits optimize their fundraising results. We look at direct mail, email, website, major donor strategy, events. So I know we're heading up on year end, and I know not everyone wants to work with a consultant. And so if you need someone to take a look at your year-end package and review it, tell you what needs to be changed, give you suggestions, make sure that you've got it all dialed in. That's a service I offer. So if that's something of interest to you, send me a DM. I would love to connect. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.